Welcome to Parents Pay Zero for Education. We're going to focus on strategies that impact real estate investors, business owners, and 1099 recipients. If you are a W-2 wage earner, this class is not going to be for you, but if you go to my seminar series that starts with the 500,000 college funding mistake, that's going to be the first step in you learning how to pay zero for college. Why should you preview this pay zero for education knowledge? I'm a certified college funding specialist with 33 years of financial strategy experience. You may have seen me in Fox 2 News Media or on Comcast doing seminars, maybe online somewhere doing a seminar for a group or organization, or maybe you heard me on the National News Radio. But at any rate, I want to thank you for joining me today. In this brief session, I will reveal the beginning steps on how to design a zero net cost education, starting with mistakes that the traditional voices in education readiness are overlooking. Unfortunately, the masses are rating their current lifestyle needs, draining their retirement reserves, and overpaying for education because there's no one showing parents how to avoid these expensive mistakes. This is class one in the series. If you complete it, I will review $1 million in education mistakes that when corrected and avoided leads to paying zero for education. In the conclusion, I will make available a tool that assists with helping to avoid thousands of dollars in education funding errors. Let's get started. First of all, in strategy one, the very first thing I want to talk about is rule number one. Never depend on looking for money. This is a huge mistake. This strategy is designed for parents with students of all ages, even if they haven't started having children, or those who are paying for college or have students in college, or the student has left college and graduated, and now the bill is due. Looking for scholarships is a huge waste of time and will lead to disappointment for the masses. Less than 1% of students that apply for private scholarships will not receive enough money to fill in the college funding gap. There's not enough money to provide scholarships for every student. And private scholarships are awarded based on a lottery selection process. For this reason, scholarship providers should not be depended upon as a guaranteed source of funding in education. Scholarship searching success stories are not an indication of what will happen for your student. Of course, you're going to hear stories about that 1% of students who receive funding. Apply with little expectation of receiving substantial dollars from this method. Let's get into additional steps regarding strategy one. Less than 1% of entering college freshmen will receive 100% in non-debt funding. This is a huge fact that we must respect going into the Pay Zero for College process. K-12 private schools are limited to the number of students that can receive financial aid. Also, higher income families do not qualify for those pools of free money. And the greatest financial reward that benefits everyone when we talk about business owners, when we talk about real estate investors or 1099 recipients, are tax scholarships. This is the vault that most parents are not being shown those keys to access these dollars. Tax scholarships are financial advantages that are provided by the government when certain rules are followed. They are provided in the benefit of tax deductions, tax elimination, and tax credits. These advantages can also lead to qualifying for more financial aid, despite having a higher income. They also can be used to fund education while recovering, recapturing, and recycling that cost. To understand the financial power of tax scholarships, parents must first understand their negative wealth transfers. So why do business owners lose thousands of dollars in education funding opportunity? It's real simple. The negative wealth transfers are the various ways that money is lost, forfeited, and uncovered. In this case study, we're going to talk about how a real estate owner decides to use profits from their rental income to fund K-12 private school. I hear this all the time. We're just going to use our cash flows from our rental properties. The annual cost for one student is $15,000 per year at this particular school. So to pay this cost, the parent must pay taxes on the $15,000 as it is a post-tax expense. Remember, they changed the 529 rules, but your cap is $10,000. Over a 12-year period, the parent can spend $180,000 without counting inflation. As a result, there are a couple of problems that are created that are not talked about from your traditional education sources. The parent will overpay for education in multiple ways. Yes, let me say this again. Parents, if you are using after-tax dollars, you are overpaying for education. The after-tax impact will increase the out-of-pocket costs by their tax rate. The total impact of this expense and the opportunity cost, the negative wealth transfer, will drain future cash needs, including retirement reserves, by more than $1 million in this particular case study. Let's walk through this. Again, I can't talk about this enough. Your negative wealth transfers, ladies and gentlemen, are a threat to learning how to pay zero for college. They drain potential funding opportunities. They lead to overpaying for education and rob the business owner of future profits and cash flow. In this case study, we're talking about how that $180,000 that parent is going to pay, again, without counting for inflation, over that period of time with their tax rate is going to add $27,000 to that cost. Let me say that again, $27,000 to that cost. This creates a negative wealth transfer. So the parent loses this money forever and the future growth of that money. So that $207,000, if you were to multiply that, and that money was in an account growing, that money is lost by the parent, and that cost is $561,516.54. I wonder how much your negative wealth transfers are rating your financial situation, and you never had anyone to walk you through how they're impacting your ability to fund education and setting you back at the same time. The lost impact of this negative wealth transfer is well over $1 million when we add in the fact that that cost continues to roll forward over the life of the parent. I can't tell you how many phone calls I've gotten, how many conversations that I've had with parents after they see that they're in this problem, but they didn't see it before. Can you afford this? What are your negative wealth transfers costing you? And is giving money away a good idea? Let's talk about your next step. I know you want to talk about scholarships. I know you want to talk about financial aid and all of these other things. But let me tell you something. As a certified college planning specialist that is experienced in this field, I promise you, your first step is assessing the risk in your negative wealth transfers, because it doesn't make sense to get into these other strategies if you are not correcting your negative wealth transfers. Ladies and gentlemen, you can learn how to pay zero for college, and the cost of education is not the problem. The only problem that you have is your negative wealth transfers and not having solutions to those negative wealth transfers. Listen, I want to help you identify your negative wealth transfers and then talk about a step-by-step process where you can design a zero net cost strategy based on your specific situation. What I want you to do is to go to this link, calendly.com/yourmoneycoach. When you get there, I want you to set up a 30-minute segment that fits your schedule. The next thing that I want you to do is I want you to, you're going to get a questionnaire, take a few minutes to fill out the questionnaire, send it back to me. And then when we go and review your 30-minute segment, we're going to get into your specific needs and how to pay zero for college. So let's go through this again. We're going to walk through, we're going to have you go to calendly.com/yourmoneycoach, set up your 30-minute segment. Then you're going to receive a risk assessment education questionnaire. Complete that. It'll take you maybe 15, 20 minutes. I'm going to need that to get into the negative wealth transfers that are specific to you. Without that, we're just going to have a conversation and you're not going to walk away with solutions to your specific problem. I can't tell you how many parents have said to me, Jeff, I got a lot of information, but I don't have any solutions to my problem. I tell them all the time, that's because you have not had an education risk assessment. Listen, I would love an opportunity to share this even with your group, where we show them the power of understanding their negative wealth transfers, because those are the basis behind your true cost of college. After the education risk assessment, you're going to know what your mistakes are. We're going to quantify them. Then we're going to get into solution-based strategies. And then from there, these strategies will walk you step by step to designing a zero net cost education. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm certified college funding specialist Jeffrey Taylor. You can find me on LinkedIn or Facebook, Pay Zero for College. If you're still in between, you're still trying to think, well, Jeff, I'm not sure if this is I should do this. Hey, let's just take 15 minutes. Give me a chance to answer your questions, or you can visit one of my workshops and seminars where the majority of the time there's a Q&A period and you can get your questions answered then. Listen, I am looking forward to meeting you and seeing you soon. Listen, let's show the world, let's show parents everywhere that they can beat the high cost of college by learning how to pay zero for education. Have a great day.